What is this? Number 238. We're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. Welcome, everybody. Got Dennis from the merry old England. We got Pat in the desert and Wes in the swamp, I guess.
Yep.
And me here in beautiful Atlanta. So, everybody doing good, I hope. Well into summer, I'm sure. Nice and cool temperatures for you, Pat, right about, you guys well over 100 pretty much every day now for the most part.
Yeah, I think just like 106, 109 kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's not quite the super heat of summer yet. You haven't gotten any 110s or 120s yet. So.
So yeah, no, good 10 degrees to go. So.
Yeah. It's still kind of sweatshirt weather, I would imagine. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For the most part. How about you, Dennis? Good weather this week? Do you have?
Yeah, the weather's fine, and according to the weather forecast, it's going to get hotter all the way up to the end of next week.
Okay. So is that 80 degrees? Is that
Yeah,
was that what
it would be 30 degrees by next Friday. Yeah, Celsius, of course.
Okay, yeah, so that's like a little over 80, 82, 83 degrees, something like that. Yeah, that's pretty warm because you don't have air conditioning, so it's going to be a little.
Yeah, well, I was going to sit in the car, put it on.
Well, yeah, open up the windows at night and turn on the fans.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Only a few days a year you're going to get really hot nights.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's I had a friend here whose air conditioning went out last week, and he said it was pretty uncomfortable because we had about 90 degrees and almost 90, super humid. Yeah, just kind of one of those swamp like a West day, summer day in Gainesville.
Yeah, most days in Gainesville.
Yeah, that's you do experience another level of humidity. That's you just kind of kick it up a notch over what we have here, which is I thought was super humid compared to anywhere else we've lived, but it's not that humid comparatively, I guess. So. Well, good. Very good week. Everybody got with the camera this week? Wes, I'm assuming you didn't.
No.
No. Okay. Dennis, I haven't even looked at the Flickr group yet. So.
Yeah, I've been doing a few playing around with the Voigtlander helical.
Okay.
Adapter. Yeah, see what I can squeeze out the lenses.
Okay. Good. And Pat's been busy just shooting.
Yeah, I see they're keeping him employed.
Yeah, he's shooting a bunch of old cars. So yeah.
He was telling me his itinerary for this week earlier, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's busy. That's which is good. It's good and bad. Yeah. Good to be busy, but you don't want to. Sometimes there's too busy is the thing too. Yeah, he's okay. He's posted some images here. I haven't. I didn't do anything with the camera this week. I did rearrange my junk wall back here. I reoriented my desk. It was over here, facing back against this wall, and I switched it around again, and cleaned off my shelf of crap back here. So I actually have the cameras up there now, and put some books and stuff up there. So yeah, kind of cleaned it up a little bit. So this will be the new view. I like it because now I look directly over into the backyard, which is kind of nice. So kind of a nice.
That's terrible, Mark. Now I'm going to have to clean up my office.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting the pressure on you guys. Well, Wes is always clean. It's organized clutter there, Wes. You've got so much stuff on the wall.
That's how I roll.
You got all the you got the camera lenses up there, and then I'm assuming all those file cabinets over to your right are those records.
Those are CDs over here, yeah. And
Okay.
then just off the edge there where the records start. You can't really see them.
All right, yeah. And you got lots of books there. Technical books, I'm assuming a lot of those are?
Yeah, mixture.
Okay, yeah. Organized chaos right there. Yeah. So, yeah.
I see your bird photo done well on Explore.
Yeah, it went for a little over a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually about a day, 24 hours, and then it dies.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's is that your first Explorer, Wes?
That was my third, I think.
Third? Okay.
Yeah. Whereas, do you remember I said to you like I haven't had anything in for a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that flower I put on that week went straight into Explore the next morning.
Yeah, I watched the show last week. That was pretty crazy. They were listening.
Yeah, you know, we do have quite an effect on the popularity of images. I mean, you know. It's,
Do you guys know how that works? Is it just like certain people, like almost administrators, can do it, or how that works?
All I read on the internet was you got a 1 in 75,000 chance of getting one chosen.
Yeah, I just wonder because like I think they must be like I must have a follower that can do it or something because like it used to be like I would go like months between posting photos and I'd post them and all of a sudden almost every time one of the pictures would be pulled. Like I probably had like at least a dozen, so I figure it's not like a random thing. There must be someone that, you know, sees my post, not because I don't like share them really in groups or anything. You know, I won't have it in a single group and it'll go and explore. So
well, if you go to Flickr, they say that it's based on interactions. So if you like post something and it gets a certain number of likes,
like quickly or something,
basically quickly, yeah, then it gets like put into Explore.
okay.
Let's face it, Patrick, your photographs are quite exceptional.
Yeah, well,
thank you. That's what gets the likes.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean that's there's probably a little bit of you know, voodoo magic there a little bit. It's probably a combination. They have people that kind of curate it, and then there's probably stuff that kind of gets bumped up if it gets a lot of likes.
I was curious. I'd be curious to see like some kind of analytics, like based on what time I post stuff, you know, when they go in and when they don't, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there probably is a better time of day to post. I know for like Instagram, seems like if you post, for me it was like in the evening, early evening. You do something there, and then
I think it's typically like evening, kind of people getting off work, and then like weekend mornings kind of thing.
Yeah, yep. Like a Saturday morning before 8 o'clock or something. You know, when people get up and they go through and look at everything. And so, I mean, there's a little bit of a strategy to posting images if you want to get attention drawn to them.
Mark, I don't know how it works because I put that picture of the birds over the ocean on one of the sites, and they rejected it. Said it was had too many artifacts and it wasn't of high enough quality to go on their site.
Huh.
Yeah, and the next day it went in Explore and got 245 likes.
You mean they wouldn't let you add it to a group?
No, they said it wasn't a group. It was another photo site. I joined it and put that photo up, and they rejected it, so it's not good enough.
And then it shows up on Explore on Flickr the next day. Yeah.
It went straight into Explore, and it's the highest paid thing I've ever got.
Yeah. The internet is a fickle beast. It just depends. It just depends. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever had I don't think I have had an image in Explore. I feel left out. Oh, sooner or later I will.
Sooner or later you'll get one in, Mark.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't know what the criteria is, but I've had 6 in a year, so I'm quite happy.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, it's probably some combination of how fast things, you know, how many likes it gets quickly, and then if probably have a group of people that kind of curate it, you know, and kind of look through. And
I don't think it's likes, Mark, because I put that on the evening. Started, so it only had a couple of likes.
Well, they were all from this group, so that shows the power of the group.
Yeah, the power of the group. Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably, who knows? Yeah, I mean, there might be somebody that follows your images that maybe like Pat or whatever. We need to know the secret handshake, maybe. I do. Everybody else has been in Explorer. I've never been in Explorer.
Yeah, this is secretly Pat's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So yeah, I didn't do anything photographically. I'm getting ready. We're going up to Michigan in a month, just about a month from now. So I'm kind of been planning a trip, and I'm looking at that. I forgot that there's a lot of lighthouses up along the coast of Lake Michigan. So I'm thinking I might try to plan our trip to drive up that a little bit, and maybe give Simi a little competition or see if I can pick up some lighthouses. Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget when you've done it, you've got to put it in 200 groups.
Yeah. A bunch of groups and put the sun over it. No, he doesn't do that anymore. But yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't know. I might get out one more time between now and then. Just kind of busy, but that's kind of what I'm gearing up for. Hopefully, make it'll probably be mostly film, but there'll be some digital in there, obviously. But get some film photography in over that 8 or 9 days. We're going to be gone, so hopefully we can do that and try to visit a couple craft breweries along the way too. So maybe it'll be digital images of craft beer. I was like, wait a minute, hold that while I set up my large format camera, and we'll do a little tilt shift, and we'll get the glass in focus, and then we'll blur out the background, and probably drink the beer before it gets set up for the shot. So it have to be pretty much digital for that. But yeah, so do you post? Yeah, you did post some here, Dennis. Cool. Pat posted some, and Jose's posted a couple, and Simi posted a couple too. So good. Anything? So you're gonna be pretty busy this week, Pat. You're traveling around doing
yeah,
shooting a little bit.
Kind of a fun but exhausting week. Shooting a Jaguar E-Type tomorrow morning at sunrise-ish, not quite sunrise, but it's the same guy that I shot a bunch of. We've shared some of those pictures before. It's like all he does is build E-Types at his house, and but some of like the nicest ones I've ever seen. I mean, they normally go for like 300, 400,000. So towards the top end of E-Types, and then driving out to LA and San Diego after that to shoot some stuff. That I can't really talk about until it's revealed what they are, but there's another English car that's one of my very favorite cars that should be like $15-20 million. So a big deal car. So
are you getting? So it seems like you're doing a lot of work for you kind of getting that final push to get stuff in for the summer auction season, like Monterey. Monterey. Monterey's
actually pushed back a week this year versus normal. So I guess everything's coming a little bit later, which is kind of brutal for shooting out here in Arizona anyway. But that's kind of why we're doing morning, because I have shot like 7 cars in a row in like 110 degrees before, and that's no fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that temperature, you almost have to worry about keeping your camera covered up.
Yeah, well, I always keep it like in the shade anyway. Yeah. On my bag in the shade, and then whenever I'm not using it, set it down and kind of keep it over there. And yeah, because it starts to get, I mean, just being black, out in the sun, it starts to heat up, and you can feel it. And I've never had it. I think actually one time I had an error where it started to kind of like, I'm sure you probably had that with your phone.
Yeah.
Occasionally, it'll get too hot and it'll freak out and says you need to cool it down before it'll work, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know when we were up in last August when we went up for the eclipse, it's kind of middle of the day, so everybody had kind of out in this field, and people were setting up their their cameras, and people had some nice good cameras, good lenses, and everything, and they set it up ahead of time, and they put them on equatorial mounts so it kind of tracked the sun, and there were a couple people that the camera, because they didn't put it in shade, so it was just up there and tracking the sun for an hour and a half, and it was totally pretty cloudless and hot sun, and there were a couple cameras that aired out. They couldn't. Yeah. They overheated, and
after all that work,
they missed the eclipse because the camera was too hot. So it's definitely something to be aware of. Yeah, it's definitely, especially as hot as it gets out there. Yeah, you want to get all the stuff done you can in the morning as possible, because I imagine it just gets brutally hot. That sun just does unforgiving. Yeah. So, well, cool, good. Well, I said hot, actually, not cool, hot. So, and US, you going out with the group here this week at all?
We have our monthly meeting, so it's going to be an inside kind of thing this week.
All right.
And I'm taking over the group, so it's been some extra work for me. That's why I haven't got out that much.
Are you the president of the group now?
Basically, the leader.
Presidente?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How many members are there?
Well, there's a couple hundred, but only 10 or so show up at the monthly meeting, it seems like.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of have the core group, and everybody else is just on the email distribution list, right?
Yeah. A lot of people have moved away and stuff. So.
Yeah. Almost
10 years since the group was started.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is a little extra work when you kind of take a more active role in it. You end up being administrator almost more than what you're in the group for, whatever the group is. It'd be photography or any kind of hobby group. Once you get into running the group or that type of thing, yeah, you spend a lot more time just kind of keeping everything running than other stuff. So, yeah, it's good. Yeah, we're definitely into summer here. So we got the 4th of July coming up. So you can it's coming up in a week. So are you gonna go over to St. Augustine? Is that where you normally go, Wes?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go. We didn't go last year, so it's been a couple of years now. So I think we'll do that.
Yeah, it's normally you got some good shots from there, so that'd be kind of interesting to see that. I don't know if we're gonna go. Probably not this year. I'm running I'm doing the Peachtree Road Race, which is July 4th morning. So maybe I'll take my phone. So maybe I'll get some shots of the crowd with my phone before I run. So that'll be.
I did that 8 years ago now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a huge.
Yeah, race. It was crazy. That was my first race, and it was crazy.
Yeah. I got in. I had my buddy talk me into doing it, and you can get seated in the earlier waves by running a time, and I hadn't run any races in the last couple of years, so I just had to enter the lottery, and I got in the lottery, but I had no qualifying time, so I'm like in the second to last wave.
Yeah, that's where I was. I was way in one of the last waves. It was. Yeah. I was passing people the whole time.
Yeah, I'm in wave X, and it goes to wave Y. So I'm in the second to last wave, and there's going to be 60,000 people in this thing. So, I'm going to have 55,000 people, 50,000 ahead of me, at some point. So it's going to be. But yeah, my goal is just to finish it, get the T-shirt, and then if I run a little faster, then I get a better time. I get a better placement for next year. But
right.
I hear it's. We've never gone down and watched it, but everybody running says you got to do it at least once just for the experience of doing it. So
how far is it, Mark?
It's a 10K, 10 kilometers. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm in decent shape. I mean, I've run a lot as younger, and I kind of got away from it, but I kind of got back into it here the last 6 months or so. So, I mean, I could, and I don't know if I'll be able to because I think there's just gonna be too many people ahead of me. But I should be able to do it in 8 minutes a mile or faster if I, if possible. But I'm kind of figuring that I won't be able to do that just because there'll be too many people. So I'll just run it and get whatever I get the T-shirt and enjoy the experience because there's gonna be so many interesting people there. So it'll just be fun doing it just from the.
Yeah, I had a friend who ran the London Marathon.
Okay.
Just thinking about running 26 miles makes me tired.
Yeah. That's a long way. The farthest race I've ever run is a half marathon. I did 2 or 3 of those when I was in college. But most of the time I would run 5K. 5K was a race I would run a lot, and then 10K is a few. But yeah, anything past that, I've never had a desire to run a marathon. It's just not. It's never been. It's just too long. Anything under an hour, I've been good with dealing with. In a half marathon when I was in shape, I could do it in like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that.
I just can't understand people like Mo Farah who can just like outrun just about anybody.
Guys, yeah, it's amazing. Those guys, the engines they have, they're race cars. I mean, they're human versions of Ferraris. They just they peg the rev limiter up there and they just go. And it's really amazing to watch people like that. What's interesting is having been a competitive runner. I wasn't national class or anything or close to that, but like locally, I was locally competitive, but it was just another league. And just knowing how much work it takes and how fast you really have to run to be that fast, it's amazing to me that people can actually do that because. It's really incredible. So anyway, I'll be doing that on the 4th, and I'll probably get some phone shots of that, and then we might go to the local fireworks depending on the weather is. I might go there a little early and do that, but other than that, that's probably going to be it until we get to till we get to mid-July when we go up on our trip. So.
Well, for some reason, Mark, we don't seem to have a 4th of July celebration.
What's that? For some reason, you what?
We don't have a 4th of July celebration.
Oh, well. I wonder why. I don't know. Maybe because we won. Yeah.
The boys didn't do very well, did they?
You guys came back like 30 years later and you did burn down the White House. So
yeah, that was only because the Americans invaded Canada.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I thought it was Canada that burned it down. That's what I heard from.
Oh yeah, well, current revisionist history is Canada burned it.
Yeah, the Americans burned Quebec, was it, to the ground? And so
I think they did, but yeah, and then the Brits came down and burned down the White House, and
yeah, it's only because the French come and asked for our assistance.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the French came in and assisted us in defeating Britain the first time around, so that was kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, for what I read, Mark, the French army in the east was about the same size as the British army in Vancouver, and it was going to be a question of independence. You know, they were going to fight to get independence, but when the Americans decimated them, they needed to come to the British and ask for help.
Yeah. It's interesting how that all turns. And this is kind of photography related, but we went to the Atlanta History Center yesterday, and they had a exhibit on the Civil War, and that was really the first national conflict war that was photographed to any extent, and they had a lot of really interesting photographs of soldiers and battlefields and that type of stuff, and it was really, you just imagine taking out those big those plate cameras, and I guess glass plates is what they did it on, and going out into the field, into the battlefield, towing, I guess, on the back of a wagon probably, and setting them up and trying to make an image. Was it collodion? Is that what they did on glass? Is that the original?
Yeah. That collodion is pretty dangerous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the chemicals I think they're banned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, compared to the Civil War, though, I think it was probably pretty safe.
Yeah, comparatively, and it was dangerous, but on the whole level of things, yeah. But I mean, they had images of like the field hospitals, where they did all the amputations and that type of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So that was really the first war that was documented with photos. So
it's fascinating history, Mark, because I didn't even know the Brits had burned down the White House till I actually went to Vancouver and read some of the history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the president he sued for peace with the British because he was already fighting a civil war in the South, and he didn't want two war fronts to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they said the Canadian border has been the world's largest undefended border ever since, with no incidents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is very interesting how all that works, and how we would have how the North would have probably lost the Civil War if France was not embroiled in their own stuff.
Yeah.
Because of the support, because the South wasn't able to. They didn't have any manufacturing, so they had to smuggle a lot of their, like 90% of their armament and all that type of stuff came in from Europe. So both the British and the French were selling. Arms dealers basically were selling it to the Confederacy, and then they were smuggling it in through the blockade to get the stuff in. So it's kind of interesting. But if the French hadn't been, who were they? Were they fighting the British at that point? They were fighting somebody.
Well, they was fighting everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they hadn't done that, it could have been a different outcome. So it's kind of interesting. But
what I thought was a bit out of order was when the Royal Navy tried to break the blockade of the South. So basically, they were supporting the South.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because of the cotton, that was the only thing the South had going for it, was the export of cotton, which everybody needed. So that was the That was the impetus. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Bit out of order, Mark. I think the British were a bit out of order by doing that.
Yeah, but they were just economic, whatever their economic interest or what they thought was the right economic interest was what was controlling it. So
it said that the Americans took quite a few years to forgive them.
Yeah. Now we've got the first image of the that Pat posted links the kind of the colonialism of Britain here. We got a good tie-in. So let's jump into that because we've got this is an awesome vehicle too. I really like this. So we got this one. I think is that the last one? Yeah. Okay, that was my last image from last week. So yep, the first one. So this is the Maharaja's 1930 Bentley.
6.5 litre. I bet that's about, what, 30, 40 horsepower?
That's an awesome vehicle. Private sales division. 6.5 liter, speed 6. So
Yeah,
is it a straight 6?
Yeah. And it's like a 30, 40 horsepower might be less than that even. It's kind of amazing how little they had for how big they were. But yeah, it's a very interesting car. I should post more photos of it because the details are where it kind of really gets interesting, you know. Like that photo you can't see, but the like the hood ornament or the mascot they say it's like on the radiator cap is actually it's a glass rooster. It actually has a little blue light bulb that lights up the whole thing. And the idea was that everyone in Jaipur or whatever in India knew that belonged to the Maharaja. So like if you saw that in a rearview mirror, get out of the way kind of thing. Or if like you see him coming, get out of the road so he won't run you over, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Huh.
So it's supposed to be like his little signature thing. So each one's a little different, but yeah, then like the details on the interior and stuff, the back seats of these cars are just like leather sofas with like the tufted and all that. I mean, they're just
with the
super
big buttons kind of overstuffed.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that. Yeah.
Those cars were built by the carriage builders. The ones who used to make the carriages with horses.
Yeah.
And
that's interesting because you can see that H.J. Mulliner that's exactly what that is. It's like the coach builders, and that's why they're called coach builders. But so like Bentley would build the chassis and then send it off to them, and they'd build the body, and interior and everything like that. So they're all a little different. And so you'll see like Bentley 6.5 liter by all these different people, and same for Rolls Royces. Like there's a lot of Rolls Royces with actually American made bodies.
Yeah.
And then there's like Lincolns with English made bodies and all kinds of stuff like that.
So has this been sold already or not, or do you know?
This one's actually a private sale. So RM just started a division where they're offering these cars, like for people that don't want to risk putting them through an auction but want to get rid of them.
Okay.
It's basically like a really, really high-end classifieds kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
So that Ferrari, the Ferrari 275 I posted, the blue one last week, is the same deal. It's one of their first consignments, and actually owned by the same guy.
Okay. So they
run these on unleaded petrol.
Yeah, so I think they have something where you don't have to use leaded gas anymore. I'm not sure what they do, but
yeah, I think you have to change out. I think you have to change out the valves or something.
Yeah, the valve seats.
Something like that.
Hardened valves and valve seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably because the lead would keep it lubricated, basically, right? Isn't that what the lead did? Yeah.
There's also lead additive you can buy.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these just use, and they probably run like actually surprisingly high octane and everything in them, just because they are pretty finicky motors. But
yeah, any idea what this would sell for? Do you have any?
I don't. I know in the millions, but I'm not sure how many.
Okay.
I think 2, 3, something like that probably.
That's a beautiful car. I mean, I love the color and I bet you the engine is just a work of art.
Yeah, they're interesting because they're very like all the brass and everything. They're so like all the craftsmanship, but they're still kind of just like machines. If you look at like old Bentleys, old Bentley motors are incredible looking. They have like hand turned finish on all of it and everything like that. Like they added a whole lot of detail. Whereas these are a lot more function than anything else.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pretty giant motors for being a 6, just a straight 6. When you think of each cylinder being a liter, you think of like a liter of Coke or whatever for each cylinder.
pretty much each cylinder. Yeah, that's a lot of torque. 40 horsepower, but probably a couple hundred foot-pound of torque, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's almost like a diesel, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting. Cool. That's a neat car. I really like that. So here we got Connecticut story in pictures. Okay, so it's taken a couple weeks ago. This is D750 F11, 0.8 of a second, only 89 groups. But yeah, there's so many cool lighthouses on the eastern seaboard. Just so many, and he's got a lot really pretty close to him too, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, we don't have too many out here.
No. Yeah. No lights on top of the saguaros. No.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, that's a neat, a nice image, and I think we've seen this lighthouse before from different views, but I mean, different times. I think he's done one of these in the winter or the spring when there weren't any leaves on the trees, so it's kind of neat. But yeah, you can keep going back to these places different times of the year. So we got a 993.
Yeah, that's I think it's late 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 97, 2000.
The last of the air cooled portion.
Okay.
So right after this, they switched to the traditional kind of radiator setup.
Yeah.
So they're kind of one of the most beloved generations just for that fact. They're still kind of primitive in a way that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just a local guy actually that kind of got in touch with me and wanted to shoot. So which I hardly ever do. So it's kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
It's a little less. You get more flexibility on what I can do. The auction stuff they need like every angle. The front, rear, profile, that stuff. Where I can just get a little more creative and not worry about it as much.
Yeah. So you can you have a little more control over what you can do with what you want to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, like magazine shoots are the same way. You get to actually kind of get creative.
Yeah,
which the auction company, especially for the big cars, they're all for that. And it's actually gotten better that way. But still, again, it's like with this car, I didn't need to get the VIN and the engine number and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
a bit more time just kind of having fun with it.
Yeah, that's almost like an egg yolk color. It's a yellow. Yeah,
that's quite an overhang on that building.
Yeah, this is like in Scottsdale. It's at a hiking trail. So this is like I think it's actually basically a shed that they store stuff in behind there. But since it's a public building, they did some kind of interesting with it. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's actually an area where I've done a lot of photo shoots.
It's like you got benches or stuff, and it almost looks like if you took this way, it almost looks like maybe like an old gas station or something. With the roof. But
yeah, it's convenient because if you see it from the opposite angle, like rotated 90 degrees, it looks like you're in the middle of the desert. There's like nothing around.
Oh, okay.
And then, the nice thing is if I have to do a photo shoot at like 1 in the afternoon, I can pull under that awning and get like interiors and all that stuff. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's also where I got my camera bag stolen. So.
Oh, okay.
That one time a while back, yeah. Oddly enough, I would have never thought it would happen there, but.
Yeah. So you're extra aware whenever you go back here. Sure.
It's true.
Yeah, that's. Okay. So here it is, the 250. Okay, so this is.
Yeah, this is the big deal car that they're expecting will set a record for most valuable car ever sold at auction.
Mm-hmm.
I think the current record for an auction car is 38 million.
Okay.
Which is actually another 250 GTO, but kind of it was a few years ago. It's kind of a worse example.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, they're expecting like 50, maybe more.
Yeah. No, it's
kind of just depends, what people want. Supposedly, one 250 GTO just traded hands privately for, I think it was 72 million. So, but I don't think this car doesn't have quite the history that one did, and this is a later body style.
Yeah.
But yeah.
1960.
Interestingly, this car is currently owned by one of the guys who helped found Microsoft. So.
Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah. So this is 250 GTO. Was it a V8? Straight A?
V12.
V12. Okay.
Yeah. That's actually all the 250s are.
Okay.
Like a 2.5 liter to 3 liter V12. So tiny little cylinders on this one versus the last car, half the displacement or less than half the displacement, twice as many cylinders. So
Yep. Yeah. So pretty high revving, I would think.
oh yeah. I think the red line's like 8,500 or something like that, or 9,000, which for 1962 is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And what, carbureted or was it fuel injected?
No, it's carbureted. In fact, I should have. I mean, yeah, it's the motor's pretty beautiful. They're kind of a famous one, but it has the 6 carburetors with the velocity stacks on the top on each of them. So there's like a little thing at the top for each one.
Wow. And what kind of power? Do you know what kind of power the motor generates?
I don't think it's a ton. I don't know. I'm guessing 100 something, 100 horsepower. I'm honestly not sure. It could be more than that. But yeah, I mean, they're nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well, the car looks like it's going 100 miles an hour standing still. I mean. Yeah,
especially like I said, this is a later body style, so it's a lot more kind of slid back and.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can look at my screen really quick, but that's like a straight down shot of the motor with the carburetor.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there's a.
Yeah, and here's like another. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So essentially, almost 12 carburetors, 6 carburetors, but yeah.
Yeah, with the individual, and I think they have I'm not sure if it's individual throttle bodies or not, but it's
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, not throttle bodies, but yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
The continual linkage and.
It is actually a pretty small motor, really.
Yeah, and if you even look at the header, the pipes are pretty small and everything, really.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, just kind of high strung.
Yeah.
It's got share a little picture of the interior here really quick. Yeah, so
wow.
Kind of the cool gated race shifter right off to the side of the steering wheel, you can grab it.
4-speed?
I think it might actually. You know what? I don't even know. I think it might be 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Is it an aluminum body? Is it an aluminum body, or do you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to unshare my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. I think it is. Yeah, and this one's actually never been wrecked, which is kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah.
It's never been wrecked, and it's never not finished a race, which is also kind of a big deal. So it has pretty good, history. But it's only one of 7 of this body style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 1962, so it's actually the 3rd GTO ever built, out of I think 36 total.
Okay.
But the 1964s had this body style, so this was converted in 1964 by Ferrari, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like a 1964, even though it's 1962.
Okay.
And it's actually only one of 2 with this particular body, so it's a pretty rare kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful car. If I had an extra 100 million sitting around, I can think about it. Yeah, because you're going to buy the car for whatever 60 to 70 million, and then you got to have a little bit in reserve for maintenance and upkeep.
Yeah, well, that's why I posted on my Instagram, and the guy's like, "Oh man, the motor." They're like, "That motor looks like it would, take a lot of work to keep in tune." And I was like, "Well, if you have this GTO, I'm sure one of your several staff mechanics can handle it."
Yeah.
Because all these guys have at least 2 or 3 mechanics that are full-time employees, that keep them running.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's a lot of upkeep. But yeah, that's a beautiful car, and I love the all the trees along. Well, you're in the Northwest there, so you get all the pines around there, and that's just a great contrast with the red of the car too.
Yeah, this is like an hour and a half outside Seattle, like a track outside there. That's kind of cool. We rented for the day for it, so
nice, very very nice. There we go. Segerstrom Hall in infrared.
It's pretty wild.
Hammered, enchanted by Life Pixel. Taken with converted in camera. Oh, okay, so there you go, Dennis. That's what he did. The enhanced 665 nanometers.
Yeah, the 665 nanometers is the spectrum, isn't it? That's all it's recording.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like your photographic paper, your RA4 papers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got that gap in them where you can use a safe light.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I can't remember what it was. It's about 300 nanometers. That's what the light bulb gives off.
Okay.
So, and the paper's got that gap in it, so it's not ruined by having a darkroom light on. But
Mm-hmm.
the die-hard color people say there is no safe light, don't use anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is kind of, well, yeah, that's the palm trees, looks, have snow, frosted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the infrared coming off the leaves that you're recording, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of, it's like it's converted for infrared, but it's not the same infrared as you would get with infrared film.
Yeah. Well, I've never used infrared color film. I've used infrared black and white, but it was a special film mark which was extended to be sensitive to the spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's a neat effect. I mean, that is it is very it's a neat effect. Okay, so
I know you can get different filters, Mark. You can get like 720 nanometer filters, which is extending again beyond what you normally get.
Yeah, that would be a little bit more extreme.
Yeah,
infrared effect. Yeah, and this.
Yeah,
what would it cost to convert a camera to this? So do they just remove the filter over the sensor? Is that what they do?
Yeah. I think they take out the infrared filter from the sensor. But of course, you destroyed the camera because it can't do anything else but infrared.
Yeah. But I mean, the A6000 is a good camera overall. So when he upgraded to the to the A7 or whatever, that this one was probably didn't figure out, just use it for infrared.
Yeah, we'll see. On my camera, on my film camera, I just have to screw over an R72 filter, which is probably the 720 nanometer.
Probably 720 nanometers. Yep. Okay, so this looks like the opposite. His other image was taken back over here, and now he's on the other side of the lighthouse. American Classic, listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Yeah, that's a beautiful image. I love that. The color with the grass in front. Yeah, that's very nice. Just a little bit of the other house peeking in there. Yeah, that's okay. 80 groups, 30th of a second. Not too long.
I'll take it Simi's doing a sunrise here, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that would, for where he's at, yeah, that's a sunrise. Yeah. Very, very nice. Okay, so here's your Voigtlander adapter, close focus adapter.
Yeah, that Voigtlander adapter is a helical. It was basically an extension tube. What goes? It goes from 0 to 4 millimeter.
Okay.
Obviously, you destroy your infinity, but it really does get a lot closer. These lenses were never made to take photographs this close.
Yeah, that's a nice image. I like lots of detail in there. Yeah, the colors are very nice. That's a neat one. So we got another one here. So this is your Zeiss.
Yeah. Now this Zeiss, Zeiss Biogon, is a really good lens. It's got virtually no distortion whatsoever, not visible. And it actually outperforms the Leica version on a rangefinder camera.
Yep.
And but on the Sony, it's rubbish.
Really?
It's I took some landscapes to see how bad the smearing is, and basically you only get the middle of the picture in focus. It is seriously smeared all the way around the outside in the corners. It can't be corrected, which is to do with the filter stack in front of the sensor.
Yeah. So it's just a lens. It just doesn't work with that camera. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah, it works with a Leica because apparently the filter stack is a lot thinner.
Okay.
But with the Sony, it's rubbish. So you can turn what is basically a perfect lens into rubbish by putting it on the wrong camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It just shows how much software is used to correct the lenses on a digital camera.
Oh yeah. Yep. This was okay, but yeah, I mean, if you had taken the whole frame, it would have been really.
Yeah, I mean, it works with this flower, but it doesn't work in a landscape.
Yeah, you got it.
You see, it's basically blurred and smeared.
Yeah.
The light does not fall on the sensor at the right angle.
Okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but for a concentrated subject area, it works okay.
Yeah, you can get some really sharp pictures if you keep it in the middle.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's on that camera. It's a purpose, very specific purpose.
Yeah. See, it worked quite well on this one. But if you look to the right hand side, you can see.
Oh yeah, this over here.
Yeah.
It is. Wow. Yeah. It isn't. It's a kind of a weird effect, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not bokeh. It's just smearing.
Yeah.
It's like that all round the frame.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can kind of see that, huh?
Yeah.
And it's just because the light is hitting it at different times, basically, I'm assuming.
Well, no, I think...
or is it distorting it?
Leica sensors have got built-in filters all around the outside. When you use Leica rangefinder lenses on it, it's basically changing the angle of light, what's going down the sensor. Yeah, and I think that's why you get serious vignetting. And but this actually smears. This lens, it smears. It says it can't be corrected. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's great here, and this is actually still pretty good too. But yeah, you get off around the edges, and yeah.
So I'm afraid I haven't got a 35mm for my Sony.
At least not for wide-angle shots. Yeah.
It's funny because the 35 2.8 version of the Zeiss works fine. It's just this is the faster lens.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Another one with that. And right in the center of the image is fantastic.
Yeah, these were handheld. All I've done was I opened up the helical adapter to maximum, and I shut the lens down to the minimum focus, and just handheld it. I just kept moving me in and out until I got it right.
Well, that's a nice. I don't know what kind of flower that is. A zinnia? I don't know. Kind of cool.
All I can tell you, Mark, is a flower.
A red flower.
Yeah, it's a red flower, mate.
Okay, so here's the other shot of the 50. Very nice. An action shot. Yeah, it's a beautiful car. I'll take one. Just for the weekends. I'll drive it just on the weekend. That looks like a fun little track, too. Lots of ups and downs.
Yep.
Very nice.
Pretty good.
Okay, so here's back to your Leica 90mm.
Yeah, now the 90mm works fine.
Yeah, no, that's great on center, and yeah, then the bokeh is There's no smearing. That's just bokeh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was wide open, and,
Mhm.
and that flower was moving.
Okay. It was a little bit of a breeze. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rose, by the way.
500. Okay. Yeah, you got that one right.
Yeah. It's only because when I grabbed it to try and keep it still, it got
You're not a botanist, but you did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it is interesting though. There's no smearing on the edges, whereas on the other ones, like you said, you could definitely see the smearing. Huh. That's interesting. Ooh, I like this shot. It's very nice. That is.
Now, Patrick gets some interesting subjects to photograph.
Yeah, that's a beautiful car. And I don't know how fast it's going. It looks like it's going 100 miles an hour, but it's probably only going like 25.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm back for one second, for just a bit. But yeah, that was not very fast. I don't know. Track makes it easier because it's smooth, But on this one, I was actually laying on my stomach outside of the side sliding door on a minivan.
Okay.
With my hands like the bottom of the camera, maybe like 2-3 inches from the ground, so that kind of makes it look, taking on streaking across the bottom kind of thing. But
are you driving parallel with that, then, Patrick, when you take it?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. We I always tell them that just kind of maintain speed. Whoever's driving the car, and then the car I'm in, I tell them to either speed up or slow down to kind of get different angles.
Okay. So either ahead of it, behind it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and kind of roughly speed matching it so that I don't have to kind of account for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think. Well, I know the next one is I think like 1/8 or 1/10, something like that. 1/13 of a second. So, so yeah, I mean, you don't have to be going very fast for that to look fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even then, that's like 1 out of 20 pictures is going to be sharp, because any little movement between the two cars or whatever is really hard to kind of.
F20. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just keep shooting till the buffer fills up.
Yeah, pretty much. And I kind of can tell, I kind of watch the background and watch our positions, and like kind of let off the shutter for a second to let it catch up, because sometimes I can tell it's not going to be great. And then just kind of hoping after that you got something. Because we were actually, as we were doing this photo shoot, they were doing a full video at the same time. So we kind of had to share the track with them. So I didn't I actually only did like maybe 2-3 laps total with the car to get these photos. So it's kind of tricky, it's if I spent all day doing laps, you could end up with a ton of them. But it's kind of that balance where you want the motion, you want like as extreme motion as you can get, but you want the car to be sharp. So
yeah,
because obviously I could put it to like 1/300th or higher, and every single photo would be sharp. But
yeah. So you got to find that the speed, shutter speed, that kind of gives enough blurring. Yeah,
the kind of balance. And so it's kind of like, if I have enough time, I'll just push it to the extreme end with the like 1/13th. Most I did not take quite that slow. And in this one, I was actually in the trunk. Not even with the hatch popped, kind of laying down to get this one. But
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it gives a sense of just really flying, and yeah.
I mean, we are maybe doing like 30, 40 at the most, but
yeah, that's great. But yeah, the track is nice and consistent color. Yeah, so you get that nice. The tire. Yeah, I mean, it
was kind of an interesting track because the actual surface was much more like a road. It wasn't really very smooth. It kind of you could see like little pebbles and stuff in it, which is why there is so much contrast or so much detail in it, which helps with the motion.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the irregularities in the surface give the
right. Yeah, because if it was like a perfectly smooth, consistent surface, you wouldn't really get that at all. I mean, maybe a little bit. But.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Yeah, so they're gonna. So this is gonna be Monterey auction. So will this be the cover for the auction piece? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be. I'm not sure what image, obviously, at this point, but I gave him like 100 something. So but yeah, it'll be late August. It'll sell, and if obviously it breaks a record, it'll kind of be a big deal. So I'm hoping to be there, you know, to actually watch it go across the block. But there's always a good chance I won't. I don't know.
Yeah. No, now you've been there. You went there. Was it last year or a couple years ago? You went
last year. I did. Yeah.
Last year?
I didn't actually only spent about half an hour at the auction, because I was at other events, but Pebble Beach and some other stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'd love to go to that event. I think it would just be fun just to see all those cars coming.
Yeah, I think between everything I shot, if it all sells, it should probably be around $100 million worth of cars that I will have shot for that auction. So
you take like a 1% fee, right? So that's not too bad. Yeah.
No, I'd take 0.1%. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Actually, 0.01. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
0.1.
It's all relative. I mean, it was it's just a complete different level of disposable income and where money gets allocated.
It's great. The thing about the auction company takes 10 or 12% on every car sold. So, and that's on the buyer's end. And the high cars, they typically don't charge the buyer. Like a $50 million car, I mean, they don't charge the seller because they're going to make so much off the buyer that they don't, you know, they want that person to consign that car and they're not going to take $5 million from them or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
On that sale, they'll make, you know, $5-6 million. The auction company will.
Yeah.
And then normally they make
the buyer pays 50 and he actually pays 55, basically, essentially.
Yeah, whatever the hammer is, that's what.
Yeah,
and then they
tack
bump
on
that
their fee. Yeah. It's a good business to be in, man.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, Mark, you're in the finance business. Why don't you just go out and buy a $45 million car and you can sell it for 60 next week?
Well, this guy, no joke, he bought this car I think in 2007. I think maybe 2001, 2002 actually, for like $7 million. And he's driven it and raced it a lot. So it's not like it's, you know, I mean, he's getting all of his joy out of it while making $40 million, $50 million on it.
Yeah. Getting 10 times his investment back and 15.
Basically buying like the, you know, best toy you could imagine, and then you make $50 million along the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good game. Good game.
Yeah.
It's a good situation to be in. Good for him, but I guess now you wonder if he sells this, what's he gonna buy when he sells this? He's got
I don't know. I mean, he must have some. Yeah, I think he has some crazy stuff. I mean, he actually drove to the photo shoot because he drove the car for the video portion.
Okay.
He drove to the photo shoot in a LaFerrari Aperta, so like the convertible version of a LaFerrari, and he drove that 3 hours each way to do the photo shoot just because he could, I guess. And he said he stopped at the McDonald's drive-thru on the way. So.
And he got off the dollar menu.
And I think that's like a $4 million car at least. So, you know, putting that kind of miles on it.
Yeah. Well,
and then he has a regular LaFerrari too.
Yeah.
So
Mark,
it's only one of two.
If you did that in this country, Mark, you'd probably get an invitation to the Revenue's Christmas do.
Yeah. You'd be a guest of the tax collection agency, I'm sure. Yeah. Man. Yeah, it's funny. I was got a friend here who he bought a 2010 Boxster. He bought it like 4 or 5 years old from a dealer, and then they got a Macan S, like an off lease one. And when they were up there buying that, they met the salesman's like, hey, you got to meet this guy, and it's some guy who is he's the son of some Middle Eastern oil sheik, and the guy's like 60 years old now, but he was literally born a billionaire and has never worked a day. He's just always been just doing whatever he does his whole life, and he just like, we'll trade cars out. He had to, he was like, well, what's his daily driver? And he's like, that's a Kia. He's driving like $30,000 Kia sedan, and he wears his ratty jeans and T-shirt, and the guy, he's worth whatever $700 million or something like that. And just a different level. Hey, I wear ratty T-shirts and jeans too, so I'm kind of almost there.
Most of these billionaires I've met, these car collector guys, you would never ever know. I mean, if you saw them like walking around a car show, you think it's just whoever.
Yeah.
And like I said, this guy was basically one of the founders of Microsoft. So he's doing all right. And and he was just a dude, kind of an awkward dude, a little bit awkward. Don't want to disparage him too much, but
yeah, just kind of okay. Yeah, it's the book The Millionaire Next Door, and you got the billionaire next door. Just pretty relatively unassuming given everything. The amount of wealth that they have and what they spend it on. But they spend it on the things that they're passionate about. So like the guy for his daily driver, he's got a $30,000 sedan, and then on the weekends he takes out his 918. So it's a different world. Well, cool, good show, guys. Glad you can make it, Pat. Have a good week.
Yeah, nice to jump in.
Yeah. See you. Dennis, survive that 82 degrees or whatever you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And Wes, hang in there with that 90 and 90, which you guys are getting. And I think we're going to be like 85 to 89, and pretty typical summer for us. But kind of warmish to hot and humid. So it's
you
summer.
use any chemicals yet, Wes?
No, I think I got some vacation coming up in about 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. So probably wait till then.
Okay, cool. It'll be kind of mid to end of July. Then you'll have some images from that, and then after I'm going to wait and see what your result is, because that'll work out just fine. Because I should have a number of sheets of color film that I'll take when we're up in Michigan, so I'll be able to decide if it works for you. Then maybe I'll get the kit. And,
yeah, Mark, I've decided that Bellini chemicals I bought, I'm just going to do 2 more sheets of 4x5, then I'm going to dump it.
Huh? You think it's used up already, huh?
Yeah, I've not been happy with it. The colours are all over the place.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not the result you want.
I think I'll get myself a Tetanol kit and try. So I'll keep it just to do a couple, and then I'll do the same shots in the Tetanol and see.
Yeah, see what you end up with. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to do a couple doubles of some stuff on color on the Ektar, and then maybe get the kit. You got yours from Film Photography Podcast, right, Wes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check out theirs first. They come across some good stuff, and they have some pretty good prices on them.
Yeah, it was their prices were real reasonable on it. It was like $21 or something
for a 1 liter.
For a 1 liter, yeah.
Okay, we should do. How many rolls do they say that'll do?
It's only advertised as 8, but they say most people push it to 20 or 30 rolls.
Okay, so 4x5, yeah. So you could get like
Uh-oh.
4x4 of 35 converted to a sheet of 4x5. I don't know. Probably 10 35 millimeter negatives to 1 4x5. Isn't that about right, Dennis? Isn't it about 10 to 1?
No, the 4x5s, 3 4x5s is equal to a roll of 36. 35.
Okay. So if
it's Wes has got 120 though, hasn't he?
I'm gonna be developing 35 on it first.
35 mil, yeah. Well, 1 roll of 35 mil is equal to about 3 sheets of 4x5. Maybe 3.5 sheets. So, yeah, that's what I've allowed, Mark. When I was doing the 4x5s, I was just counting 3 sheets or 4 sheets as a roll.
Yeah, I think Mark's gone.
Yeah. It looks like he's been stunned.
Yeah. You simply can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, Wes, we got 36 rolls out of a 1 litre C41 kit, and that was labelled as 10 to 12.
Wow. Yeah.
And they were still okay. The colours were fine.
Did you rinse between steps to keep the chemicals clean?
Yeah, we usually just rinse out the chemicals because the one thing I did not understand is if you get any of that Blix anywhere near the developer, it's finished.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading when I research it. They're saying as long as you keep things rinsed and clean, it'll last a long time.
Yeah, he said, don't even let it smell it, else it'll go off.
Yeah. Well, I think Mark's gone off. So yeah, I think that's the end.
That's the end. So maybe I'll see you next week then, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good week.
Cheers, guys. Patrick. Yeah.